What the fuck is up? Welcome back to my channel. I haven't been here in about a month, 4 weeks. I'm so sorry. Max, please stop. You're distracting. Anyway, so I haven't been here in 4 weeks. I'm so sorry. But I'm back on my grind. Please don't unsubscribe. This story time is gonna be about just a haunted house I worked in for 2 years. It was a super weird haunted house. Let's get into it, right? I've been wanting to make this story time since I made a YouTube channel. Like, this happened and I was like, I need to make a YouTube channel one day and talk about it, because what the fuck even happened at this haunted house? So I worked in a haunted house for 2 years. The first year I was naive. It was my first year. It was their first year being in this town. So we were all super excited and we got a lot of people, but a lot of them left very disappointed. So in the second year, I didn't invite any of my friends like the first year when I was super excited. So just imagine, to give you like kind of a feel for what kind of haunted house this is, imagine like makeup that's like smeared, like not good looking. My highlight's kind of popping. But like imagine me looking like this and then like putting purple around my eye and being like, I'm spooky, like rawr. Like, that's what it was. It was literally the worst haunted house ever. All their makeup was trash. Our outfits were so trash. I wore a onesie once and then a pajama shirt the other. Like, it was so scary. And then like terrible actors. Like, I was pretty good, but like everyone else sucked, and I also sucked. So imagine that kind of haunted house. And there's the owner. We're gonna call him owner number 1. And then his friend, owner number 2. Owner number 1 is a police officer. Owner number 2 is like some redneck old man who like talks like this, and I don't know why I think I know how to do a country accent. Truck, and he made sex jokes all the time. Him. And then the first owner was like bald. He had a daughter. He had a son who would work sometimes. Like, he was real professional, and his best friend was like the opposite. So the first year we had so many people and then everyone like left. So the second year was like so many new people, and then me and my friend Rachel and like the older grown-ups. I don't know why they did it, but grown-ups did the haunted house too. And it was just, it was a weird haunted house. Like, I've been to haunted houses and they were just really like scary. Like, there was cool lighting. We had no lights, like a flickering one, fog, and like baby doll music, because I was in the doll room. Like, that's all we had. It was just weird. So to kind of give you the idea of what it looks like, there's like a clown room, there's a doll room, that's where I stayed. There was a kitchen, there was a library, there was a funeral home, like a theater, things like that. There was a bedroom. There was a lot of rooms. There was like, what, 12? And so you have to get in through the emergency exit so they don't see you. So from the back, we get to the emergency exits, and then they come in through the front and like go around like a haunted house. You know how that works. So mine was, there was emergency exit, and then the theater, and then the doll room, and then the clown room, and then that's the exit. So I was by the end of the whole haunted house. And my friends, we're gonna name their names because who cares? So River was in the theater room with his friend. I don't remember his friend. So River's friend. And then it was me, Rachel, and Nikki. Nikki was only there like twice. In the doll room with me and Rachel, it was usually just us two. And in the clown room, I don't know any of their names, but just know there's a boy named Keaton, and then Keaton's little friend who was like 8. So us, how many people? 7 of us would always just be like a group, and we'd always get in trouble because we were always talking. And all of them were gay except Keaton and the little boy. And I think they lied to us and say they were. Probably, I don't know. But me and Rachel were like we are very like out there kind of girls. Like, look what I'm wearing. Like, I don't give a fuck about anything. So they like dare us to like take our clothes off. It sounds bad now, but like we would do it. Because like it wouldn't be like, okay, so I'd be wearing like this. Like a bra just like this, and then like a shirt over it, and I would just take the shirt off. It's not a big deal. Next subject. But they had cameras in these rooms, so they've like seen us do it. To be clear, I didn't know there were cameras until like the last night of the haunted house. The owner and his friend, owner number 1 and 2, like the real owner, and then like the country little like, come over tomorrow, baby. And they like saw me, because Rachel already had her clothes on by then. I was still putting it on, and then they saw me. And the first one like walked out, and the second one was like, what's going on here? Because he was totally into it. And then they both left. And then he like made comments about it all the time. Like the second one, it was super weird. Like, imagine this kind of haunted house. Like, it's just a weird vibe from everyone in general. So before I get into the main part of this story time. I'm gonna tell you just one little short story too. So there was River and River's friend, theater, and it was me and Rachel in the doll room. And River liked Rachel, River's friend liked me. So they were like, let's hang out like before next weekend, let's all hang out. So I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. Because I didn't know they were into us like that. I thought we were all just kidding. So they like came and picked me and Rachel up and like brought us roses. And me and Rachel like dubbed them and like pretended we were on a date the whole time. It was just the weirdest ever. And then his friend was like super mad the next day, and he was like, I'm leaving, and he was like calling me a slut, and he was so mad. And River knew me, Rachel didn't like him, so he was like, I don't give a fuck. But his friend, I guess, was like real into it. So his friend was really mad, and I was like, I want to go home, I'm scared, he's gonna kill me. This man is like 24, like he's a man, just remind you. River's like 16. This guy is a man. He's like this much taller than me. I'm like this. It just wasn't fun. So we like had beef for like, I don't know, a week. He didn't like me for like one weekend, and then he got over it the next weekend. Everyone's just so weird in the haunted house. So imagine that. Like it's just me and Rachel, like these girls who are always naked, like these weird grown-ups who like are always flirting with us, and like a boss and a second boss who like we're just weird. Everyone's just weird. So into the story. In the clown room, there's like 6 people, but we only talked to Keaton and this little boy. And when we're meeting them, we're like, hey, like, what's your name? Because he's like around our age. They're the only ones around our age. And he's like, yeah, like I'm 19 and I'm 17, and Rachel's like 15, 16, I don't know. And then we all just kind of become friends for a little bit. And Keaton's pretty cool, but he like, I don't know, like every weekend we'll be like, hey, like what's your Instagram, like what's this. He like has no social media. He doesn't have any friends that he ever hangs out with. He's always asking us to hang out, and he's always with this little boy. This boy's like 9 and he's like 19. Like that's a really big age gap. Like I don't mean Rachel have a big age gap, but it's like 2 years. To describe Keaton to you, he's this, I'll insert a video of him in like his clown outfit so I don't expose him, but he's like chubby, he has facial hair, he's like an asshole, like he's
No. Drugs. It's drugs.
Keaton, that goes in my mouth.
Ew.
And that's what I'm like with other people, so I never like got offended because I was like, hey, we're friends, but like that kind of playful friend where you just diss each other. So then one day we're all in the theater talking because it's a super slow day. It's like a Thursday. No one's coming in this weekend. So we're just in the theater, and I forgot what I said. Oh, he was like something, you know when someone's like, who are you calling? And you're like, your mom. It was kind of like that. He said something and I responded with your mom. And he like, I was standing up by the chairs and he like pushed me into the wall and he choked me. And he was like, don't ever fucking talk about my mom again. I'm a gang, I'll fucking kill you. And I was like, sister, what the fuck? I was scared. Like he really choked me and like pinned me against the wall. And they were like, yo, like what the fuck, chill the fuck out. And he was just like yelling at me, and he was like, before this, Keaton was like, hi, my name's Keaton, like fuck you, like, you know, that weird kind of vibe where it's like that guy friend who's like, can I give you a hug, like that kind of vibe. And then suddenly, as soon as I said like your mom, he like switched up and he was like, yo, fuck you, don't fuck with me, I'm in a gang, I'll fucking kill you.
I know. What's your gang?
Hey, where are your shoes?
What's your gang?
Don't worry.
You're lying. You're fake.
You're fake, boy.
You're
Slide
fake.
up then, nigga.
I'll burn your motherfucking house down. Like, it was just so weird, and his personality switched so quick, and I was so scared. So for the next of that week, we like didn't talk to him. We were like, you're weird. Bye. 2 weekends before that, they would always bring us lunch to the haunted house before the haunted house, like dinner. And 2 weeks before this incident in the theater, they brought White Castle, like the burgers. So this is the weeks. I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know why I'm over explaining. 2 weeks after they brought White Castle is when he choked me, and then a week after that is when this next incident happened. It's been 4 weeks since they bought White Castle. Good job, idiot. Mind you. And everyone sometimes bring backpacks. So he brought a backpack. I didn't see it. And there's a couch where you're getting your makeup done if you want to do your makeup or chill on the couch. I was chilling on the couch, and I sat on his like backpack, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh my god, I sat in your backpack, that's so funny. And he was like pissed again. He was like, fuck you. And he grabbed his bag and he like pulled out like all of these like White Castle burgers. There were so many, and they're like old. And he was like, look, you fucking ruined my burger. Like he was shoving it in my face. He was like, look, you fucking ruined it. You fucking, like, this is his burger. And he was like, why is your dirty 4-week-old burger in my face? So we like argued, and I was like, you're fucking weird. You were gonna eat that? It's been 4 weeks. The next day, that's like a Thursday or a Friday, getting my makeup done, and that day they brought McDonald's and they brought McChickens, and I'm like getting my makeup done to like do the haunted house. So I'm putting like purple on my eye, like putting blood randomly, like thinking I'm cute. And he like comes out of nowhere with like a McChicken, because they bought McChickens from McDonald's that day for everyone's like dinner, and he like shoved it in my face. Like I had mayonnaise in my hair. Like it was so annoying, and I yelled at him and I was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I went to go wash it off, and he came back and he shoved another fucking McChicken in my face. Like, what? So we just argued that whole day, and I was like, if I hate you, like I really wrote this down and put a sad face. I'll show you, like on my notes. It was really, no, this one. It was just so mean. Then he doesn't come on one weekend, and we're like, is he dead? Like it was Halloween and he didn't come, so we were like concerned because he's weird and he hits us, but like we're still friends or whatever. So we text him and we're like, hey, are you coming? Like it's Halloween. And he's like, yeah, on my way, winky face. And he like never showed up, and we gave him so much shit about it. And then the next day he like came in with like a scratch, and like he was like a scab. Like it was weird. And we're like, what happened? He was like, I got a fucking car accident. Like the day of Halloween. What are the odds? Like he got in a car accident. He could have been lying, I don't fucking know. But he showed up the next day like nothing. It was just super weird. And he never gave us like evidence or like talk about his car getting hit. And it was there the next day, and it was like perfectly fine. He had a Jeep. Maybe he didn't get in a car accident. So then it's the last night of the haunted house, and me and Rachel are like, let's prank him. Like we're freaking bored. Let's pretend we're into him, and then like give him like the blue balls. I don't know why we thought that was okay, but we were like, let's do it. So we're after the haunted house, it's like 11 o'clock, and we're like, let's go to McDonald's. Me and Rachel are hungry, so we like get in the car with him, and we're like touching him. We're like, and he's like with this little 9-year-old boy in the passenger seat, and we're like what's up? Like we love you. We can't wait to hang out again. Like just weird things. And then we're like, drop us off at the mall and then come back, and then we can hang out because the haunted house is in the mall. And then we like went to the mall, and then we left as soon as we got there. He like texted us, and that's the first time he showed up to one of our hangouts because he really thought he was gonna get pussy. And then none of us were there, and I think it's funny. It probably wasn't, but I thought it was hilarious. And then he texted us, and he was like yelling at us for not showing up, and we were like, Rachel got sick, we had to go home. And then he like tells us about his life story that day. I don't know why, but he sent us like this long ass fucking like Harry Potter novel on Snapchat about how he's killed someone and he's in a gang and all this weird shit. So we blocked him. We never talked to him again, except this one time we wanted weed, so we told him to show up, and then he never showed up with the weed, and then I blocked him again. But we've never talked to him again, and it's just, I thought it was a weird story. Like I've never met a weirder person than Keaton in my entire life. Oh, and by the way, it turns out the whole time he had a girlfriend, and that little boy was the girlfriend's brother. Yeah, it's probably not as interesting as I thought it was. Thank you so much for watching. If you got in this far, you're a G. I love you. This video was not as entertaining as I thought it would be, but my boobs were out, so does that make up for it? I hope so. See you in the next video. I will make a next video next weekend, I promise. That's not a promise. I promise. Please don't unsubscribe. This is for a future video. This is my proof, one of my proofs.
Okay, but so for like I was talking to a little boy, and then he was like, there's nothing more that I want to do than just like nut all over this glass.
If you guys didn't know, I used to wear glasses. I'll insert a pic. I was cute.